Karrion Kross's WWE contract is expiring soon. Plus, Vince McMahon sells more TKO shares. And could some AEW stars be buying an indie promotion? It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling News right now. Oh, get in. Look at that. We beat the bots. Oh, first here. Come on. First one before the bots. Karrion Kross has been the talking point of WWE Raw. Sort of on the sidelines, he's been a little voice in the ear of a couple of key players lately. Yep. He's really sort of carved out a place for himself on that roster.
Completely agree. Yeah.
However, Karrion Kross fans might be cross in the coming months if what we are reading is true.
Yes, so following previous reports that Kross was in a contract year with a company, Fightful Select noted that his current WWE deal is up this summer. As best as Fightful can tell, Kross has a few months remaining on his contract and adds that WWE have not approached him about an extension or renewal. It's unclear if WWE has any interest in doing so either.
It was reported back in April that Karrion Kross was scheduled to receive more of a push on WWE TV, having been involved in stories around Logan Paul, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn. He did that amazing backstage promo that made everybody go, what? Do more with him.
So good.
This is the guy we want.
Exactly.
There was an interview that did the rounds as well that kind of really made everybody stand up and pay attention to what Kross was all about. This comes at a time where WWE have not so much sort of changed their tune somewhat on how they move talent along. Going forward, it's looking like there's going to be less releases with 30 or 90-day no-compete, but more just letting contracts expire naturally. This is what's happened with R-Truth this week, Carlito, and Sarah Logan. Karrion Kross could potentially be another one, if things don't change, that also has a contract that expires, and he could be potentially entering the next stage of his wrestling career hotter than he's ever been.
Absolutely. I think it'd be sad if WWE didn't really capitalize on how hot Karrion Kross certainly is at the moment. I feel like he's a guy who not only kind of like, he elevates himself obviously in sort of the promos and whatnot that he does, evident by, you know, the stuff that he was doing around about WrestleMania, as you mentioned, where everybody was like, oh God, get this guy on TV. But I feel like he also elevates other people with just the little tiny bits that he does backstage, just a little bit of whispering in the ear. I feel like it elevates other storylines that sometimes may not necessarily be the most exciting ones to us as fans. But like just seeing him there talking to someone, you see all over social media like, oh, Karrion Kross is buzzing in the ear of this person, this person, this person. And it'd be a massive shame if WWE don't capitalize on it, not only just in that aspect, but also having him more in-ring as well.
You'd hope so as well. We're going to keep an eye on this one. When we know more, you'll know more at cultaholic.com. Vince McMahon, as we've talked about recently, is setting up his own business away from WWE. And with news of that doing the rounds, he has now sold another 1.5 million shares of TKO stock to Endeavor, worth $250 million. Branston Thurston reports that by my count, if McMahon hasn't made any other transactions since September 2024, he still holds 6,442,325 TKO shares, which would leave him with about 3% of all of TKO rather than 4%. That's Brandon Thurston from WrestleNomics. They call him Branston Thurston.
Branston Pickle.
I believe is a pickle brand as opposed to a man who does all the number crunching. Thank you, Mr. Thurston. McMahon recently, as we've said, set up 14th and I, which is a sports entertainment and media investment firm. He's doing this whilst litigation continues under the Janelle Grant lawsuit. Do you see Vince setting up a new wrestling company, or is this going to be something completely different?
I think it's going to be something completely different. I think just with everything that's obviously happened and is still ongoing now, I think it's kind of like scorched ground, isn't it? I feel like going into him trying to do like a wrestling promotion. I think there's obviously a lot of stuff around that might put a lot of people off.
Yeah, obviously. Very obvious reasons. AEW presented a 4-hour block of wrestling last night. They'll be talking all about it on the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast tomorrow. Another 4-hour block coming up next week with Summer Blockbuster. The lineup has been finalized by the looks of it, Andrew.
Yes, so we've got Tony Storm facing Julia Hart with Mercedes Moné on commentary. We've got Kyle Fletcher taking on Anthony Bowens after a challenge was made by Bowens last night at Fyter Fest. We've got Tekla. She's competing in her second AEW match facing Queen Aminata. You've got CMLL's Mystico, who will be in action ahead of Grand Slam Mexico. We've got the Hurt Business. Bobby, they hurt people. Did you know that, Tom?
They hurt
people. What was that?
I realised I put the Hurt Business. It's the Hurt Syndicate.
It's the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MJF. They're facing Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander. That'll be lovely. We've got Okada and Omega. They will be officially signing the contract for AEW All in Texas. And Will Ospreay will compete against Swerve Strickland in what is sure to be a banger.
Oh, there's some good stuff in there. The Hurt Syndicate, MJF, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley. I've enjoyed the story they've been telling with the Hurt Syndicate. I think that's been really good stuff.
Absolutely.
And I think there's a chance for that to be a real banger of a trios match, especially when you got Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander opposite the Hurt Syndicate. I think that's really nice.
Really good.
But that main event, Ospreay and Swerve. That's an hour in itself.
I think it very well could be.
Yeah.
It very well could be, yeah.
It's a potential show stealer. How about a promotion buyer? So this is another little bit of cheeky news that came from the AEW sector. During a Q&A stream, Matt Jackson revealing some news about what he and Nick Jackson may be investing in. What were they talking about, Andrew?
Yeah, so Matt Jackson revealed that he and Nick are interested in buying one of their old stomping grounds. He said, me and Nick have talked about a lot of things. We've talked about buying PWG, starting our own indie, a wrestling school in the next few years. If we're going to do something, it'll probably happen in the next few years. He also then later clarified that he didn't know if PWG was for sale, but if he knew it was, he would make an offer.
Super Dragon, over to you.
Yeah. Excalibur as well.
Excalibur, over to you.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing that. They had some very memorable moments as part of PWG.
Yeah.
I think PWG as a promotion, as an entity, I think is missed on the indie circuit.
I think so as well. And there's so many current wrestlers, whether it's in AEW or WWE, that still pay tribute to PWG, as it's somewhere where a lot of them cut their teeth or got really popular from as well. But so I'm a little bit sort of like about this, because obviously we've already seen the purchase of Ring of Honor, and nothing too substantial has come from that as of yet.
The reason I feel quite different about this isn't Tony Khan and AEW buying PWG. This sounds like the Bucks investing in PWG.
Then I can get behind that.
I think if it's them running, and even they said like starting their own indie.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to ever see PWG under an AEW banner.
No,
thank you. Let it run its own thing. If the Bucks step in and buy it, then let it exist as an indie that's got some financial backing behind it.
Yeah.
I think that's a real nice potential way to bring PWG back. I think that's a really lovely way to do it, with the Bucks paying the bills, paying the bucks, if you will.
Paying the bucks.
Paying the bucks. Wolfgang, 1/3 of Gallus. Gallus Boys on Top is my guest on the Cultaholic Wrestling News podcast feed. Today, we chat about his journey through WWE, heading over to America, how he ingratiated, or maybe didn't ingratiate, with the locker room in America as well. And he talks a lot about his time training The Rock. We talked about that in the first video as well. And there's a hilarious story that involves a little bit of a genitalia swinging contest between WWE, The Rock, and it's to do with private jets.
Oh, okay.
Leave that there.
Yeah.
You can check that one out and you can enjoy it. And it is a premium live event weekend, Andrew.
It certainly is. WWE Money in the Bank is this weekend. You've got pictures live on the channel already with this lovely man steps in for Ross, and he does a bloody wonderful job, let me tell you. We've got predictions going up later on the channel with myself and Adam, as well as the live stream too on Saturday at youtube.com/cultaholic/live. And then obviously following the premium live event, you've got What Happened Up with Jack the Jobber, and you will have the WTF moments with Ross himself as well.
It's all a pop-in. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Keys.
I love you, bye.